Guys, welcome back. We got the end of the Germany game going on over here. We're in Germany here. Time for another week of Crack Kills football. We're past the halfway point. Week 9. All right, let's take a look at the 5 things to watch for as we head into week 9 and just keep taking each step a little bit closer towards the playoffs. Quick hit number 1. Turning around. Last year at this time, Future Cop were in the middle of a 12-game losing streak. Interestingly enough, not even close to their longest losing streak in their team's history, but this year they have flipped the script, sitting at 5-3 and realistically in the hunt for the playoffs. One of the league's best teams, really, and maybe better than their record indicates. A win today for the Cops could push them into a tie for first place, share of that league lead. But they face a tough matchup today, taking on Shittown, who has struggled in the last few weeks. We'll see what happens. Shittown losers of, have they lost 2 in a row or 2 of 3? Let's see. Shittown 2 in a row, 6-2, but have lost 2 games in a row. So they look to get back on track, while the Cops look to keep it going. Should be a good game there. Cops, Shittown. Quick hit number 2. Lose and out. 3 6-loss teams face a potential Rubicon moment today, in danger of a 7th, potentially season-ending loss. Although we saw a team make the playoffs with an 8-7 record last year, it was only one team, so these 3 teams are going to need some help. Those matchups are No Comment versus the Phil's Fugitives, Dimebag versus Tinfoil Kings, and All Business versus Superfly. No Comment lost their loser leaves town game last week to the Kings. Weekly low score in the process. The Dimebags, on the other hand, may have saved their season last week, getting their 2nd win of the year. All Business has lost 5 in a row. They need a win today desperately. Bags and No Comment may be in the worst spot of these teams. They face a team just 1 game above them. But that can work both ways, of course, as a win could really tighten up the standings for those teams. We'll see what happens. 3 teams need a win to stay away from that 7th loss. Quick hit number 3. Championship clash? The 2022 pennant winners take on the 2022 champs in a clash of teams, really though in much different spots. King Quon 6-2, they have lost 2 of their last 3. Mean Gene's 4-4, the champs last 3 years, in fact, just fighting to stay above water. The Genes onto their 4th starting quarterback of the season. Of course, Will Levis was in on Thursday night for the Genes. Not a whole lot after his big debut on the Genes bench last week. Quon, quite the opposite at the quarterback position. Probably one of the best quarterbacks. Josh Allen, just 2 games that he's been in single digits. One of those was a 9-point game. The other a -4 on opening weekend. Kind of a fluke of Josh Allen's season so far. Quon heavily favored in this, but a Genes win would really flip the standings in their head, would pull Quon back closer to the pack, and with some of these other results could make things very interesting as we head into week 10 next week. Big one for both of these teams. Quick hit number 4. Quietly lurking. At 5-3, Unfinished Business is hanging around in the top half of the standings. They boast 2 of the league's best tight ends in Travis Kelce and TJ Hawkinson, although Kelce has not been quite the dominant force that we've seen in recent years. We'll see what happens. A win, not quite as good as he's been in last year, but running game for Unfinished Business, a bit of a revolving door. They've gone through a few running backs. Nobody has really taken the lead after losing Nick Chubb, who we'll mention in just a minute here. Taking on the Apes today, who just watched this German game finish up. Apes have gone as the Dolphins have gone. Not as great today as they have been in recent weeks. Of course, Tyreek Hill lost a fumble this morning, canceling out some of his statistics, maybe not putting up the numbers that he thought he would. Dolphins struggled in Germany this morning. Of course, put up a couple of touchdowns in the second half, but not enough. Win by Unfinished Business would really throw a wrench in the works of the standings, would pull them closer into the middle. A loss for the Apes would be damaging, pushing them to possibly 6-3, and those teams would be in a tie, and Unfinished Business would have the lead thanks to the head-to-head. UB need a win today, stay in the playoff picture, and keep pushing towards that pennant. Very realistic goal for Unfinished Business. Quick hit number 5. Injury ravaged. Drake London, Dawson Knox, Justin Jefferson, Khalil Herbert, Nick Chubb, David Montgomery, Anthony Richardson, Mike Williams, Aaron Rodgers, Deebo Samuel. These are just some of the names that are out or on injured reserve at the moment. It has been a devastating season for injuries. Every team has been affected in some way or another. Some teams more than others. Austin Eckler. It's been rough for some teams. Some teams, though, had some insurance and were able to get through these injuries. But let's be honest, we're not done with these injuries that are going to change seasons. And even if a team is 6-2 this week, the wrong injury could be damning for their prospects of the postseason. So let's hope nobody else gets injured, huh? Let's maybe try to keep this week clean. No injuries this week, unless they're on the fugitives. That's all for the first 5. And the player to watch this week, Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen, we're not going to see him until tomorrow night, but the Chargers are down wide receivers. Of course, Mike Williams out, Josh Palmer out. Could be time for Keenan Allen to shine. He has a tough matchup, though, against the Jets, and we'll have to wait till tomorrow night in primetime. But if Allen can have a big game, you have to think the Cops are going to be coming out on top. They'll be watching that game closely tomorrow night. That's all for Crack Kills Quick Hits for Week 9. Just finishing up in Germany. We got the Patriots in Germany next weekend. Much better than London. I think there should be a team in Germany if they're going to have a foreign team. Let's all agree on that, huh? That's it for Crack Kills Quick Hits for Week 9. Good luck to everybody this week except the Fugitives.